This is the Launchpad to accompany a pocket style manual. It can come with the handbook for free when packaged together with the access card, or students can purchase access directly from the site for $10. So you should have gotten access to this, an email with login information from me with access to this. So I'm just going to walk you through what's in here and how you navigate. So I'm just going to sign in as me. When you log in, you'll first want to create a course. You won't see these preloaded courses, so you'll just want to go through the process of setting up your course. The first window is going to ask that you're in the right Launchpad for the right book, so you'll just want to make sure it is for Pocket Style Manual 7th edition. If that's correct, click Next. Then it'll ask if you want to create a copy of an existing course. So this is really great if you teach this class every semester. If you set up a class for fall, you don't have to recreate the wheel again for the spring. You can just copy over your assignments from the fall and set up new due dates for the spring. Just publish your course title, your section number, course number, select your school. I'm just going to select a generic school. Your semester, and the time zone is auto set to Eastern, so you may need to change that. You click Create. Your course is loaded at the top, and you'll just click on the course title to actually enter the class for the Launchpad. And everything is loaded right in the main page here. So you can see there's a navigation bar on the left-hand side. So all of the topics do align with the table of contents of the handbook itself. So when you open up any of these sections like Clarity, you're going to see things like exercises and learning curve. So there are pre-built activities in here for students to utilize, which you can assign and have auto-graded within the system. So let's first explain what learning curve is. Learning Curve is an adaptive assessment tool focusing primarily on grammar skills. And rather than it being a static set of, say, 20 questions, students are working towards an activity score. This one is set to 300. That means if every question is worth, say, 10 points, students have to get 30 questions answered correctly before they're done the activity. And the system will actually adjust based on their responses, so the students are only spending the most time on the areas that they need the most help and most practice with. At the end of the activity, students are going to get a report that'll show them how well they did, what areas they had trouble spots in, and it'll point them to sections of the handbook and exercises for further practice. In addition, you as the instructor are going to also get a class topic breakdown, and that'll give you a nice macro view of your entire class and show you what areas the class as a whole had the most trouble with. And when you expand that trouble spot, again, it'll point you to areas for further practice, which you can then assign within the Launchpad or outside in the classroom. So to show you what these activities look like, they're all going to be true, false, fill in the blank, or multiple choice in format. The progress bar is at the bottom, so students always know how far along they are. If they don't know the answer to this question, there's a couple of options. They could always click Get a Hint, but if you watch that progress bar, the number of points that would be awarded goes down, but they get some feedback to help them answer the question. If they click Show Me, they'll be given the answer with some feedback, but they don't actually get any points awarded, so they're still starting from scratch. So you can kind of see how the system's adjusting and adapting here. The third option is actually to always check the book page. So this is always going to be referenced on the right-hand side. So if they have their handbook opened in front of them as they're completing this activity, they can just flip to that section whenever they're running into some trouble. So it's a great way of pointing them back into the reading, utilizing the handbook, really not just as a reference, but as a learning tool. So, for example, if you say, I really like the learning curve and I want all of my students to do an activity on parallelism, all you have to do is click this Options tab, click Assign. It's going to bring up this window. And what you're going to first want to do is create an assignment, because ones aren't listed here unless you create them. So I'm going to create an assignment, and I usually do it by weeks. So if you create assignments per week, I would just name it week 1, week 2, etc. Once you do that, it will be listed here in the drop-down. So you can create all the different folders from the get-go and then just load the activities you want every student to do within each week. and you would simply select a due date on the calendar. It's going to be auto set to a point value. You can always change this. I like to give 5 points for learning curve. Click assign. And now that activity is going to be in the assignments tab. So when students log into the assignments tab, they will be brought to this activity. And you'll see how everything is loaded out and listed and organized. So it's a very unique system in terms of aligning tools specifically for the handbook. So it acts more as a learning tool, not just a reference. So you can include homeworks that'll go with the book for further practice. You can either assign them for point value. You can reference this for students for their own personal practice. I'll have a lot of faculty who use this while they're grading papers, and if a student is running into a particular issue, they're going to just assign that one student to go and do that activity within the Launchpad. So there's a lot of ways you can use this. If you're using anything like Blackboard or D2L or Canvas at the school, we have integration options, so everything can just live in one location. So this is just a short walkthrough. I'd be happy to walk you through this as well, one-on-one, over the phone, over the computer, anytime over the summer. I'm here, I'm available. Feel free to reach out. My direct number is 866-843-3715, extension 1720. I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.